Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Strivacity User Migration Strategies. Today, we're going to be wrapping it up with bulk migration sign-ins. We will be going over in a future video we will simulate bulk migrated users simulating forgot password. But for today, we're going to go ahead and show sign-ins with bulk migrated with password hash user and bulk migrated without password user. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, if we come back to this diagram that we were talking about in the first video, we have two different bulk migration strategies with password hashes and without. And as I mentioned, I have two different identity stores. The default hosting my bulk migrated without password users and this other store hosting the with password hashes. The users are duplicated. The exact same users are in both stores. It's just that these users, their passwords do not exist in Strivacity right now. They're only in the legacy store. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and trigger the flows for both cases, and we'll see the hooks that fire off. What we're going to see is that what we can expect to see is that in this bulk migration use case, the hook that's going to fire off is the before password validation hook. And the before password persist hook to save the password for the first time. And those are the only, and then the before ID token generation, right? But this is the main hook that's going to fire off. In this case, this hook never fires off. The only hook that fires off here is the before ID token generation. We also have a before authenticator enrollment hook for MFA that fires in both cases. But we will dive into that in a separate video. Right now, what we're really worried about, what we're really interested in is this before seeing the logs into what is going to fire for both of these flows. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to simulate this flow for Zoe Thompson. If we go into Zoe's profile, we can see that this is a bulk migrated user, so her um, legacy attributes from the data, from the legacy store have been populated in Strivacity. That's been done as a part of bulk migration. Given name, first name, migration status has been set to pending because this user has not signed in for the first time yet. They've just been bulk migrated. We want to track when they've actually signed into the new, via the new system. We've set their customer segment value for group dynamic membership. The group has been assigned to the user through bulk migration, and their display name has also been set. You can see that JIT created user has not been set because this is not a just-in-time created user. This is something we set in the @failed identification hook. That hook, it does not run with bulk migration because the user exists in the store. Now, to show a quick simulation, let's go ahead and show what happens here. I'm going to click on original app that's hosting the bulk migrated users without passwords. I'm going to go ahead and take Zoe's email right here. And I'm going to go ahead and enter her password. What's happening here is the before password validation hook is running in the background. It's, taking this password, it's checking that against legacy DB. I'm just going to continue with the flow so the session doesn't time out. And you'll see that, we do arrive on our custom MFA page telling the user why to sign up again. When it's the first time the user is setting this up, this page will always come up. Like I said, I'm just going to set up MFA to show that it is working for the bulk migrated users as well. Great. The phone number has been added, so the phone is now it can be used as an MFA method for the user. Gonna go ahead and enroll this now. I'm just gonna go ahead and use Google Authenticator, just like a user would set this up. Click on scan a QR code in the Authenticator app and go ahead and enter the code. Okay, great. Authenticator added. It asks to create a passkey. I'll go ahead and create one right now. as it is smooth to create one. And so great, we have three things that have been set up for the user, right? A phone, MFA, TOTP MFA, as well as the authenticator. We can see that the claims are being populated again, their display name right here, their customer segment, their groups, all that's great. Now let's go ahead and dive into the portal to see what actually ran here, right? So if we go to event hook logs, it's currently 9:39, right? So we can see it started right here. We can see the first hook that ran was the before password validation. We can see that is JIT is false, meaning this is not a JIT user. Okay, it's working for, this is the identifier, that Zoe's email. Is JIT is false. You can see that we're still hitting this API URL to do the password validation against the legacy store. That API went ahead and returned 200, so the validation was successful. It was the right password. And you can see here that we're getting these claims as the response. Now you can see something important here is that the journey is not firing off here because our bulk migration has already pre-populated those legacy attributes. So like I simulated for just-in-time migration where we took these claims, we made them in a payload and sent them to the journey. We don't need to do that, right? And all we need to do really here is flip the status of migration status POC from pending to completed, right? Because the user has signed in for the first time. Our before password persist hook ran. This hook basically just read the account status in Strivacity. It read the value of migration status POC. It was already completed, so we can see that this hook skipped it, and it's allowing with the password persist to save the password to the user's profile. We can see here that our before authenticator enrollment hook lines ran to show enrollment. I'm not going to dive into these here. Again, we'll have a separate video to dive into kind of the flow, business logic flow that you can set for what authenticators you want to come up in what order to set up MFA and things like that. And then we had our before ID token generation to populate those claims in the token downstream. So this right here simulated a bulk migration, simple bulk migration without passwords. Now, what I want to do now is also simulate a user signing in via bulk migration where we migrated with hashed passwords. And we're going to see that, this hook is not going to run here. This hook is not going to run here either because the password already persists on the user's profile. Strivacity will do that validation of credentials, but we will see these two hooks still running right here before authenticator enrollment and before ID token generation. That's what we can expect. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just close this incognito. I'm going to open a new incognito window right here, go to localhost, click here, and I'm going to click on this app now. Okay, this is a separate app hosting my identity store for bulk migrated with hashed passwords. I'm going to use Levy for this example right here. This is a demo user right here. And I'm going to go and enter her password. This is just like, for example, Levy is logging into an application for the first time. Obviously, all of this can be custom branded to remind her of that. And she's just going to enter her password. Okay. Strivacity is going to do the inner credential and then immediately set off the MFA flow. I'll basically just show this working for bulk migrated with hash password user as well and set it up just to confirm it's working. Cool, phone number's been added, adding the authenticator app. Again, this adds a second layer of security. And gonna go ahead and just like a user would scan that code, enter the passcode that you get in the authenticator app. Great. Authenticator added. Passkey. Again, just gonna set it up for the user right now. You can also skip this, but it's super easy to set up, adds an additional use of ease that this user can sign in with. And they get redirected to the app. Again, we have our display name and our claims being populated from that before ID token generation hook. Now, in terms of this, to end it off, in terms of this bulk migrated with hash password, let's go ahead and see what hooks ran right here. We can currently see it's 943, 943, um, right, 942. So this is where it started running. You can see that the first hooks that ran are the before authenticator enrollment and before ID token generation. That's the main takeaway here. Again, we're not doing any legacy validation like we did with before password validation and persist because the user already exists on, in Strivacity. Their password already exists in Strivacity. There's no need to persist it. It already exists. And there's no need to validate the user, their password against legacy because we already have their password. So you can see how it is easier to go with this flow. If we have access to password hashes, the migration becomes a lot simpler. The scope of work gets reduced, and it can be you know, a business decision to make what based on what type of legacy store is being used. Um, but you can see how it can provide less downtime, less chances of APIs going down, and it's almost just an immediate validation. So this kind of shows the different bulk migration sign-in strategies. In a different video, we'll go ahead and show the forgot password also working. Pretty simple for forgot password, but we will show another video for that. I hope this helped, and thank you so much.